Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, welcome back. Welcome to Cloud and DevOps Batch 58. So before I start the session, I just want to give a quick recap on what's been covered in the previous session. Previous session, we have implemented New Relic integration and we also kept it as a part of the automation. As a part of the automation, I'm only interested about the metrics that are offered from the application component, which is our backend component. So what I did, I integrated my New Relic integration, and I also told my application to start my application using the New Relic agent. Now I would like to make some transactions to see. Again, it is a brand new infrastructure. Just before the session, I have triggered the infrastructure create job. Now I'll go and I'll try to access. I'll try to make some transactions. Okay. I will try to make some transactions to see how it goes. Okay. Now I would like to add some expense. And if you look at this, these many transactions are already in place. So I'm going to delete it and I'll add few more information. 150. 150 is car insurance. And now next is $400 school fee. Next, I also want to say $120 swimming fee. Grocery. Done. Now I have added it. I just want to see the application performance metrics, how it's going, what it is giving. So you can see, okay, this this came up automatically because this integration is done automatic. Because if you look at this, how to integrate, even if this server goes down and a new server comes up, it automatically connects. And if you ask what is the response time of it, you can see there is the response time of it. You can also set up custom time. You can also mention I'm only interested in the last 30 minutes, but I just want to go with this. Okay. So you can see there are no critical errors and you can see transactions. Everything was automatic. Okay. So this is one interesting thing that we have done. No, not just that. Okay. So the next very important thing is logs. Why logs are very important? What's the use case? Okay, let's take a use case. Okay, Amazon. When you turn on the instance, okay, when you turn on the instance, okay, on your account, instance comes up. Okay, how in the backend it works? Okay, a log will be generated and will be retained for some time, retained for X number of days. When you turn off the server or shut down the server or terminate the server, a log will be generated. And this log contains what type of instance, what is the AMI you're using, how many, what is the size of the disk you're using, what is the type of the disk that you're using, okay? At the end of the month, some billing job will run and give you the information and generate the bill. Now, in this case, what if I ask you, are these logs important or not? What will be your answer? In this case, what will be your answer? Anyone? 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 If I ask you, what is your answer? Don't you think the logs are important now? Anyone? Am I audible? Check, check, check.
Yes, Manoj.
So let's take another use case. Okay. Uh, let's take a bank use case. Okay. So anyone know what is the bank statement? So most of you know what is the bank statement, right? For example, you take the bank statement. Would need the last 6 months of bank statement. Now it goes through the whole logs of your transaction, and based on that, it is going to generate the statement and it gives you, right? Now, what if you need Last 5 years of transaction. How it works? Anyone requested a statement for last 5 years anytime? Did you get a chance? Or anyone attempted to try that? Anyone? It's gonna take time. Okay. For example, if you're dealing with any top banks, okay, if you ask any bank statement, what's a 5 years of logs, these logs, okay, how they are going to be organized is they are going to store it. Okay, so they are going to write a life cycle policy saying that whatever the data that is written on this, for example, this can be some SSD, which is a very high IO where data read and write will happen very quick. Okay, so if the data on this is more than 6 months of old, I want this to be sent into a disk or a storage system. Okay, where I want to store the data here from 7 months to typically 12 years of age. Okay, or just say 10 years. Okay, it is a very costly solution. It is very cheap solution. Okay, inexpensive solution. But whatever the data that resides in this disk will go back here. And to retrieve the data, the moment you place a request, it takes time to get the data back here and then it can delete. This is what it happens. That means you can understand how important the logs are, right? So logs are very important. So again, logs, when you're talking about it, I don't care about every log. I don't care when the server come up, when the server was shut down, and what is the CPU utilization. I don't care about those logs. Okay, I don't say when the system service came up and all. No, I don't care about it. Okay, even in the logs, there are two varieties of logs. Okay, you need to understand this point very carefully. There are two varieties of logs. Okay, transactional logs versus non-transactional logs. So what do you mean by that? Okay, so we need to understand this because end of the day, you are responsible for the billing as well. So transactional logs, for example, I deposited the money, I have withdrawn the money, I transferred the money, or I made a transaction, or I bought some items in my e-commerce project. I added some expenses, or I deleted some expenses in the project. These are called as the transactional logs. Non-transactional logs, application started, application went down, application took a lot of time. Okay, the service request took this much amount of time. This is the error code. These are non-functional or non-transactional logs. Okay, typically we try to keep these transactional logs, okay, for a longer time. In our case, okay, our functional logs are going to be the transactional logs. Okay, so let's understand this type of logs. So logs are very important. And another important use case I want to bring up here is, okay, let's say you're having some 5 servers. Let's assume, okay, cart, catalog, payment, and then cart, catalog, front end. Let's say you're having one more server whose name is shipping. Okay, and each and every log, okay, let's assume these are servers, and each and every log that is generated on the server is very much important, and you cannot say I lost the log. Okay, and again, in organizations, you won't be having access to the servers most of the times if it is a good project, because you cannot give access to everyone of this machine. And also you cannot keep the logs on these machines forever. I also mentioned logs are very much important. It's not a good practice to keep the logs locally. Okay, so if you're having 10 cart machines, 10 catalog machines, 10 payment machines, 10 front-end machines, and 10 shipping machines, technically it's not at all a ideal solution to keep logs on the top of the servers, because the size of the logs keep on increase day by day, and keeping them on the top of the same server gives you gives others an opportunity to enter into these servers. Okay, and if you want to make analysis, for example, if you want to see, okay, cart talking to catalog and catalog talking to payment, what is the transaction time? Or if you want to stream the logs of 10 payment servers, or if you want to do some fraud investigation, you cannot keep logging into all these servers and do all these things, right? Technically, it's not a possible job. That's the reason in organizations we use a concept called as a log aggregation. So what is the concept of log aggregation is, it's an English word, aggregation, combining together and keeping them together, or some of the things is called as an aggregation. So there are a lot of log aggregation solutions, and among our top products are Splunk. It is a product from Cisco. Okay. Okay, and again it comes with cost. Another thing is ELK stack. Okay, so ELK stack is not a single product, it is a combination of three products. Okay, so in this case, what are we going to do is, what we're going to do is, we'll install some agents. Okay, we are going to design this in such a way where the logs will be sent, okay, to the centralized solution. Again, what is the mechanism involved doing it is a second thing, but at this point of time, this is what it is. Okay. Okay, so you can also see this. So all the logs, okay, will be pumped from these machines. Whatever the transaction logs that are happening, or you are going to tell what logs needs to be pumped, will be sent to the aggregation solution. So as a user, you are going to view the logs, okay, from the aggregator. Okay, so this is the use case why log aggregation is must. Okay, and how long you are going to keep is the second thing. So this is the fundamental idea behind it. All right. So let's see in the space of log aggregation, what is the open source, roadmap says. We'll stick to that. So in the space of log aggregation, log management, uh, where is that? Yeah, this is what it's saying. In the space of log management, Elastic Stack is quite, it's a purple indicates it is recommended. Splunk, it's a very old tool that you will be seeing very high in the industry. Again, Splunk is a top notch in the product, but it comes with cost. But in our case, okay, Elastic is also something that can be used on-prem and cloud. Okay, this is a stack that we are going to use. Elastic Stack. Okay, Elastic Stack, formerly known as Elastic Stack, is a set of open source tools for searching, analyzing, visualizing the data in real time. Okay, it consists of four components: Elasticsearch, okay, which is a distributed search engine, and Logstash. Logstash is a log transformation tool, like the logs that are sent by the application. I don't want certain logs, I want to cut those fields. You can transform. And Kibana, which is going to show you the information on the top of a dashboard, just like your Grafana. And Beats. Beats is an agent software that is going to extract the metrics and it is going to send the metrics. Okay, this is what I would like to use. Okay, so I would like to use it. And as a part of this, this is how we are going to deal. Okay, so we are going to use an elk stack. Understand the concept thoroughly. Any log aggregation tool, fundamentally the concept remains the same. Okay. Okay. In our case, we are having front end, back end, and MySQL. I don't care about the MySQL logs because MySQL, we are not going to keep them locally anymore. Okay. We'll go with a service called as RDS, Relational Database Service. So I don't care at this point of time. Okay. So the next thing, okay, we are going to host a ELK stack, right? So in the ELK stack, the first component is Elasticsearch. Okay, Elasticsearch is a database, by the way. Elasticsearch. Okay, Elasticsearch is a database. It's a search engine, by the way. It's a database that is used by most of the companies to solve the most of their problems. But in our case, we are going to use Elasticsearch just to store the logs so that the searching on this top of this Elasticsearch is very quick. Okay, so we are going to use this Elasticsearch database, Elasticsearch database. And before that, we have something called as, okay, Logstash. And we also have something called as a Kibana. Okay, this is the Kibana. Now, so we are going to install some agent softwares. So again, this is the, I'm not interested about this, by the way. I don't want to care at this point of time because when you use the manager services, the manager cloud provider will take care of the logs. You don't have to, so I don't entertain this. What we're going to do is we are going to install some software, by the way. Okay, you are going to install a software called as a FileBeat. Okay, and this FileBeat, and you are going to tell to this FileBeat, I want to extract all the logs from the server. We know our logs are staying on the top of var log nginx access.log. We already learned this. I'm not explaining this concept. So we are going to tell our FileBeat, take the logs, take these logs and send it to Logstash. Okay, and even here, so right now our logs, okay, again we need to mention var log backend.log. Right now, okay, there is no such backend log. Everything is going to varlog messages, but I just want to create one more log file. Okay, the backend logs. Okay. Okay, varlog backend log. And what is the purpose of the log stash is, the log stash, this is a log transformer. Okay, again, there is no need to use Logstash as well sometimes. Okay, if your logs are structured, okay, you can directly pump the logs here as well. There is no one stops you. You can also do that. But the advantage of using Logstash is, I already told you structured logs versus unstructured logs. Okay, if your project, okay, if you are having logs that are unstructured, then this Logstash will help. Okay, your Elasticsearch cannot entertain the raw logs. Okay, raw logs are logs without any key value pairs. Okay, then okay. So this is a log transfer. If your logs are unstructured, then this Logstash can help you in converting the unstructured logs to structured logs, because Logstash only accepts the again. uh, the reason why we are storing our logs on the top of an Elasticsearch database is so that you can get the data quick whenever you want to retrieve the data. But in order to do the data that you're storing should be structured. That should have a proper key value for. Okay, so let me show you that as well. JSON logs structured. Okay, if you look at this log, mm, see, this is a structured log. Here, each and the orders and order number is this, date is this, this is this. This is a structured log. But if you go with the raw logs, unstructured logs, okay, it's just a line which says date, the blah blah. Okay, here you cannot make most of the sense. These are raw logs. Okay, if the logs are raw, okay, I think they have given an example. This is a classic example of raw logs, by the way. Raw logs or unstructured logs. Okay, if the logs are like this, okay, you cannot say, okay, how many ads are coming, what is the ad count, okay, you never have any sort of information. So typically in organizations, we almost push the developers, okay, developers are responsible for making the logs either structured or unstructured. If you are working for a updated project, most of the people try to make things through the uh, libraries that generate structured logs so that you can avoid the component. But again, 100% of your applications in any organization cannot be 100% latest. So you need to design the things that should support both the compatibilities as well. Okay, so this file bit software is going to extract the logs and it's going to send the logs to the, what do you call, to the log stash. So this is a flow. Okay, now Logstash will beautify the logs. For example, you don't need certain logs. You can tell it can edit the logs and can say not edit it, not a right word. It's gonna trim the lines and it's gonna send. And once the data is here, using the dashboard visualizer Kibana is just like Grafana. So what we can do is you can visualize it. Okay, whatever the dashboards that you are going to create, you can visualize it from here. Kibana is again just a dashboard. You can use it. Okay, this is the flow how your Kibana works. I mean, Elk stack works. The whole stack we refer it as a ELK. ELK stands for Elastic, Logstash, and Kibana. All right. So we can keep Kibana in a separate VM, Elasticsearch database in a separate VM, and Logstash in a separate VM. You can do that. But keeping the cost aspects in mind, I would like to create all together in a single VM. Okay. And again, it's a very big server. So I'm gonna go with some very big instance. So in our project, okay, keeping the cost sensitivity in mind, we'll create everything in a single instance. Okay. Keeping the cost constraints into mind, I'll try to keep everything in a single constraint. All right. Clear, guys? Any questions? Okay. So this is the stack that we would like to implement. All right. Clear? Any questions on this? And again, I don't care about this log. Okay. So this is what we are going to implement. And this is called as the elastic stack, elk stack. Again, it's a very big use case. Okay. Again, keeping in mind, elk stack is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. This stack is built to store the logs, but Elasticsearch is not just built to store the logs. Okay. Elk stack is a use case, one of the use case of Elasticsearch database. Okay. So what are the popular companies? So for example, you take IMDb. So IMDb is a very big movie database, right? Which tells you what is the movie database rating, and you can also watch the movies. Okay, all these things, right? Again, uh, at the end, it is a database in the backend. Okay, even these guys uses Elasticsearch is what I heard. Okay, what are the famous use cases? companies that are using Elasticsearch as their search engines. Okay, Elastic data search database is a search engine, okay, which can act as a search engine for a database. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, Elasticsearch is a very, very, very powerful and distributed search analytic engine, which is widely used in the industry such as search engine logging, monitoring, and analytics. So e-commerce, Amazon and eBay use Elasticsearch to provide product search on their websites. Yes, and Walmart uses Elasticsearch for managing through millions of products to give customers fast. And Netflix uses Elasticsearch with Logstash and Kibana for monitoring and logging their application. Uber employs Elasticsearch for monitoring. Wikipedia uses Wikipedia web search is through Elasticsearch in the backend. Again, GitHub in the backend uses their analytics platform on the top of Elasticsearch. A lot of companies uses it, and even NASA uses it for the data analytics in the space realization projects. Okay. Twitter uses Elasticsearch to power its real-time search functionality. Slack leverages Elasticsearch. And I don't know how many of the guys have used Slack as a part of your messaging. So in Slack, the search is very fast. So that's the reason a lot of companies use Slack. For example, you join any company, you don't know something. If you want to see any channels that are any particular communication, I want to see EC2 channel. You just search, immediately it gives you the conversations that are related to it in the public channels. Okay, that's one of the reasons why Slack is mostly used. Slack search is very famous, and Slack is powered by using Elasticsearch. Okay, I want to put up, okay, Elasticsearch database is not just to store the logs, it is one of the use case. That's the point I want to bring up. Okay, Elasticsearch is just a document database. All right, clear? Any questions on this? Okay, let me copy this. We should be very clear with the concept, okay, before even we proceed, okay? There is no point in even doing it if we are not clear with what it is, by the way. Okay, that's the whole idea. This is the Elk stack. All right. So we have, so yeah, again, FileBeat is just a agent software. Okay, FileBeat is an agent software. Okay, the reason why I'm stressing that Elasticsearch database can do a lot rather than just storing the logs is a lot of people are thinking that a lot of companies are built on the top of Elasticsearch, by the way. All right. So if you're on cloud, again, this Elasticsearch is no longer an open source. Okay, they commercialize this edition. Okay, so the alternative for Elasticsearch, since it became so popular, they commercialized it. The alternatives for El Elasticsearch database is OpenStack, OpenSearch, Elasticsearch, OpenSearch. So OpenSearch is free. Okay, OpenSearch is an open source, community driven. It is built on the top of Apache 2.0 license open source analytics. Okay, that can help in ingestion search. Okay, a lot of companies also uses this. Okay, it is again completely open source and free to use. So Elasticsearch is a search based on the top of Lucene library. It provides, they have not mentioned it as a free, by the way. Okay, and if you want to leverage managed service on a cloud, I think there is something called OpenSearch. Yeah. So run on-prem, run open source, open search, or elastic search using managed clusters. You don't have to deal with any of it if you are going with it, but again, it's not cost. It's not free, by the way. Okay. So they have made some changes. Okay. If you look at this picture, this is recently I just draw that. Okay. This is a recent picture. So Elasticsearch was free and open source in the past. Okay, after some years, okay, they just made it as not free and they're going to market it as commercial. They commercialized it since it became so popular and changed the license that business cannot be made with ELK. Again, it is free for you and me. Okay. If you are building business and you are making money by using Elasticsearch as a database, that means if you are using my product and if you are making money directly because of my product, it's not free. I'm just storing it for my logs. It's a free. I am building a product using Elasticsearch as a database, then it's not free. Okay, that's when this Elasticsearch open search came into picture. Okay, this is what it is. So again, I'm repeating, Elasticsearch is free to use. If anyone sells this product as a service, then it is paid. So earlier, what they're doing is Amazon, all these companies, they are taking the Elasticsearch and they're selling it as a service and making more money than what Elasticsearch is making. So they just change the model, by the way. Okay, so to build this, again, as I mentioned, Elasticsearch is a huge, anywhere you see a database, it involves huge memory. Okay, EC2 instance is always a, not EC2, Elasticsearch database or any database related component is a very costly component, by the way, because databases are memory sensitive. Okay, so let's try to go here and ELK hardware requirements. Hardware prerequisites. So if you want to go with minimum, okay, if you just want to install 8 GB of RAM is sufficient, okay, but minimum required is 16 GB RAM. And if you are, say, a small scale deployments, uh, so minimum 16 GB of RAM is needed. Any database requires more memory. So we can go with some memory intensive workloads like R series, but it's going to be costly. But I'll go with Spot, by the way. Okay, I'll go with Spot. I'll go with Spot. Let me check the history. Which instance? Uh, memory, center memory instances, EC2 AWS. Let me suggest. So it says AWS high memory. Mm. Again, R5. Accelerate performance for workloads that process large data sets in memory. Yeah. So R series I would like to go. And what is the latest series in R5? R5 is giving two CPUs is very less, 16 GB is very high. So R 5, 6, oh, 7, 8, or 9. So 8 is the latest series, okay. But G stands for Graviton. Graviton is a type of AWS EC2 Graviton. So Graviton processor, AWS Graviton is a family of 64-bit ARM-based CPUs designed by the AWS. Okay, okay. If you are okay, subsidiary of Annapurna Labs. So AWS Graviton is a family of 64-bit ARM-based CPUs designed by the AWS subsidiary, designed by AWS subsidiary Annapurna Labs. The processor family is distinguished by its low energy relatives. Okay, but again, if you go with non-Intel based, certain applications won't work. Okay, this is another limitation. Uh, okay, I'm gonna go with ARM based, AMD based only. Uh, let's go with R7. So medium is offering me 8 GB of RAM. R7 A large. It's offering 16 GB of RAM. And what is the pricing of it? On-demand pricing is 0.15 per virtual CPU. And if you go with the US East one on demand, this is the pricing. And if I go with the 0.0057 per virtual CPU, calculator into 60. So per hour it is costing me 5 rupees. That's fine. Okay, I'll proceed with this. Okay, I'll go with spot R7A large. That offers me a 16 CPUs. That's enough for me. Okay, because I don't want to waste time during training. Okay, thinking about what is that, what is this, low resource utilization. It's a waste of time. I don't want to entertain that. Okay, so let's create one more instance. Again, we know how to deal it. So come here. I need one more elk stack machine. Go to tools, automation, go to variables. It's Grafana, right? ELK server. And what is the machine? R7A.large, right? Okay. And what is the port number? Log stash port number. Again, guys, this time I want to be little smart. Okay, I don't want to Kibana works on some XYZ port number. For example, if Kibana is working on some 80900 port, I just don't want to blindly open this port. Okay, instead, and again, I need to go and say IP address followed by port number, which I don't want. See, so if you say facebook.com, google.com, you're not saying the port number, right? In the backend, it is using something else. Okay, so likewise, also I want to use a reverse proxy solution by using Nginx. I'll install Nginx. So Nginx works on port 80. So the requests that are hitting on directly the IP will be sent back to the needed this one. Okay, so I really don't have to tune it as per IP addresses and all. Okay, just to save time. All right. All right, that's it. I would like to install Nginx so that I don't have to. But again, Logstash and Elasticsearch databases you need to open, right? So Elasticsearch. I know it's 5044 and Logstash works on 9200. Elastic works on this. Logstash, I think 5044. I'm not sure. Yeah, 9600. Logstash, I'm sure it's 5044. Okay, and Kibana also would like to open. Kibana is equal to port 80. So main file, module. Yeah, it's a spot. That's fine. Automation. Okay, tools infra create. Go here and try to create the tools infra create. Refresh. Let's wait for it. It's going to provision me an instance. and I would like to play it on the top of it. So first I'll deal it manually and then I'll destroy it and recreate and redo everything. Okay. So where do I get all the needed information? Okay. Elastic, or just say elastic, elastic.co. So from endless data to endless potential. Where can I get it? Docs and solutions, platform, deploy. Again, this Elk stack is also offered on the top of cloud as a SaaS-based solution. And build custom application with your data using Elasticsearch. Get started. This is a guide, by the way. And among what I'm interested about. Mhm. Set up Elasticsearch. Okay. Set up Elasticsearch and supported platforms. So installing Elasticsearch. Okay. So I'm looking for self-manage. I'm setting up my Elasticsearch of my own. Mm, Are there any RPM-based offerings? Not Linux, not root or RPM. Yeah, install Elasticsearch with RPM. Okay, so install the RPM. Okay, so this is the import the Elasticsearch GPG key. Again, I don't care about the GPG key. This is the repo, and then you can install DNF install Elasticsearch. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let my infrastructure get provisioned. Okay, guys, carefully listen. Okay, it's going to be very nice, very, very nice, by the way. Okay. First, we'll install these things manually and then we'll do it through automation with Ansible. That is my Elk stack. This is- Okay, done. Now what I would like to do is, uh, Elk stack, done. And now how to install it? In the tools, I'll just mention it, tools automation. Elk stack installation. Okay, so done. So first, again, I'm not interested about this. Okay, I'm gonna copy this repo. Okay, let's create a repo. Vim xe m.repos.t. I'm just putting all these steps here so that automation we can do on a flash. Okay, repos.t, elastic.repo. Again, GPG check. Not interested. GPG check. Okay, I'm gonna mark it as 0, and I would like to GPG check is equal to 0. Mm, And again, this repository you need to enable 1. Okay, again, these two are also not really needed, but yeah, just keep it. Okay, so sudo vim Okay, I'm just configuring the repository so that when I hit the Elastic commands, it know where to go and where to jet. So the next command we are using rel 8. So just DNF this. This is going to install the Elasticsearch. Okay, you really don't have to enable it because it's already enabled. Okay, because you mentioned enabled is equal to 1, right? So all the manual steps, I'm enclosing it here. Again, carefully observe. There are a lot of changes that are happened. If you are going through some older version like version 7, it was completely different. You can see 7.7 versus 8.15 is a major jump. A lot of things were changed between 7.7 to 8.15. Even in our previous batches, we are dealing version 7. So we started with 8 because from 8, it has changed a lot. Okay, so I just want to go through the latest. Let's wait. Okay, so they are saying something. Let's go through. Elasticsearch has been installed. Security auto configuration information, and this is the password. If you look at this, there is a password, and these are the commands to start. Okay, let's keep all of this. Okay, these are very, very important, by the way. All right, these are very important informations. Let's keep this. They're saying that again, you are installing an Elasticsearch database. So the username is Elastic, and the pass, which is a super user, and the password for that is this. Okay, fine. Now, I just kept everything on my notepad. Next, what they're saying, you need to run this system control. Okay, not starting on installation. Please execute the following commands. Okay, fine. I'm doing it. Enable the Elasticsearch. And look for the status. I think it works on 5044. Let's start the service. As I mentioned, it's a very big software. It takes some time. Just bear with it. Okay, look for the status of it. Okay, you can see it has started Elasticsearch. Let's start -VPN, and you can see it is working on 9200 port number. Okay, 9200 port number. So if you want to access it, I don't want to hit from this. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to expose it through a different option, by the way. So it's 9200 Elasticsearch database. Clock stress is 5044. Okay, perfect. What else? What else? Again, I also want to install Kibana. Sudo dnf install Kibana. Okay, this is the dashboard visualizer, by the way. Where all this went? Where did I write so far? Ah, I wrote it here. This is not the right spot. This is the right spot. Okay. No. So, DNF install Kibana. So Kibana works on 5601. I'm quite sure. Okay. Kibana is currently running with legacy OpenSSL providers. Okay, fine. Uh, okay. Sudo next. Okay. Sudo systemctl enable Kibana. Start Kibana. Status Kibana. Kibana is just a dashboard, just like Grafana. Okay. And you can see it started. Now on which port it was started? How do I know that? Sudo let's start fn2 PM. And you can see it is running on 5601. So, but Kibana is running on localhost. Okay. So curl localhost 5601. You can only access it from this machine. From outside, if you try to access, it will not work. Okay. It will not work. And you can also see I have not opened the 5601 port number. I don't want to open it. Okay. I don't say 5601. Okay. Why do I need to tell others what is the Kibana port number? Instead, I'll install Nginx and using the reverse proxy concept, I'll tell whatever the requests that are coming 80 should go to 5601. Okay. So for that, I'm installing Nginx. I'm installing Nginx to serve a reverse proxy. Okay. Systemctl enable Nginx, start Nginx, and status Nginx. Perfect. Let's see. Go ahead and data access. Perfect. So whatever the request, right now you're getting Red Hat page. Now the moment you hit this, it should reroute the request to 5601 of this particular port number. For that, you need to have the proxy file configuration. I think we have it somewhere. Let me get that. Okay. Okay. This is already something we are using in on front end, right? SSH2. Uh, no, no, no. cat nginx.conf. Yeah, this is the file. So, but yeah, I just tuned it as per my requirement. Let me bring that file. Okay. Everyone just use this file. Okay. Uh, 1 second. Allow me a minute. Let me bring it. Where is that? Where did I keep that? Uh, Again, we can write it from the beginning just to making sure. We need to use time wisely. Yeah. So I just want to call this out here. I just want to write it. Okay. Done. Okay. So this is the proxy file. Okay. This is what something the default, by the way. So var log nginx.log. Let me this is what I'm looking for. So here, what I'm saying is, okay, what I would like to say here is uh, if any request, okay, that comes and hits 5601, okay, so should be sent to this. If someone comes and hits Kibana, okay, if someone tries to comes and hit Kibana, and the request should be sent to this. So we need to define here who is Kibana. Okay, so in our case, we need to define Kibana. So, so how can I define the Kibana? But it should not be Kibana. Yeah. So, yeah, this server listens on port 80. Okay, keep in mind port 80, which is a root. If someone comes and hits port 80, I'm repeating, if someone comes and hits port 80, his request should be sent to HTTP of Kibana. What is the value of Kibana? Kibana value is this. Technically, it's a reverse proxy. Okay, so this is what I would like to do. So copy this, and where should I put it? Let's come here and put it. Maxi, exit here, exit here. Okay, cd2 xc nginx lsf ltr cat nginx.conf. Okay, now I don't want this file, okay, because I'm just doing some changes. So I just want to empty this file. Okay, this is how you empty a file. Nothing is there. So vim nginx.conf. All right. So user is nginx. No, that's all. I don't think there is anything needed. Just save this file. Systemctl daemon -reload. Okay. Now try to access this. Your request should be sent back to, again, if you try to hit 80, it sends the request to 127.5601 Kibana. Okay, so I don't have to open the port and tell the whole world. Now do a refresh, your request will be sent to Kibana. All right, clear? Maybe I can also do the same for Vault, GoCD, and other tools as well. Maybe I can do that, but that's fine. Okay, now what I have to do is I need to register this. Okay, as I mentioned, they have changed a lot of things. That's the reason enrollment, all these things are coming up. But you need to generate the enrollment token. How to generate the enrollment token? If this should be, okay, if this node should join as an existing cluster, you can reconfigure this. But I don't want to talk about this reconfiguring the cluster because we are not operating as a cluster. We are just trying to use it as a database. Okay, so we need to generate a token. For that, you can complete the actions by any time. Reset the password. If you forget the password, you can generate the password using this. Generate an enrollment token for Kibana instances. So Kibana, if Kibana wants to talk to Elasticsearch, okay, so get back. If Kibana wants to talk to this, okay, so Kibana has to be enrolled on Elasticsearch. How does it do that? Okay, so you need to enroll it. It's going to generate a token, and the token you need to supply it so that it goes and checks. Okay, you are generating a token on Elasticsearch and you're supplying it from Kibana. So Kibana goes and talks to Elasticsearch to validate whether it is true or not, and then it starts exposing the data to this particular Kibana. Okay, so generate an enrollment token for Elastic for token for a Kibana with instance. Okay, I think these are case. Again, this process is inevitable. This enrollment is manual. Okay, you cannot get rid of it. Copy this and paste it. Configure Elastic. Now you need to enter the password. How do you get the password? Copy the code from the Kibana server by running this command. Okay, fine. Uh, where do I get that? So I need to say user share Elasticsearch. I think it said right. User share bin Kibana. User share bin Kibana. Why? Yeah, I miss user share Kibana. Okay, here Elasticsearch came bin Elasticsearch. Okay, so Kibana bin. Okay, perfect. You got a one-time password 892742. Just apply it here. Verify. So now your Kibana is getting registered against Elasticsearch. So that's when Elastic will expose the data to the Kibana. Okay. Now what is the Elasticsearch database? Elastic is a username. And what is the password? The password is this, right? Elastic is a username and this is the password. All right. Okay, just want to save it. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we should be good. Any questions so far? Okay, this is how it looks. Okay, now we can proceed through the automation. Okay, so we can go through the automation. Any questions so far, anyone? Okay, so far what we did was we have created an Elk server and installed a Logstash Kibana and we registered the Kibana to Elastic. Okay, the configuration management was done manually. Okay, all right. Now, this installation of Elasticsearch, I don't want to do manually. I want this to be done through Terraform. Okay. So what I would like to do is, it's very simple. Create a role. Okay, just like okay. So inside the task, that's main YML. Okay. So we need to go through all of it. And then inside the templates, elastic dot repo. Fine. And then this is the repo, right? Okay. Mm. Actually speaking, you don't need this, okay? Man, GPG key is not really needed because I'm not really using it. Okay. And auto refresh is equal and type is equal to RPM. They are not really needed, okay? That's it. That's all. Mm. Next, rest of the tasks are quite like others only. Tasks. Just to copy this. Okay. So tool name Elk. Configuring the repo. It's going to be elastic.repo. That's going to be elastic. And installing Grafana. Right. And these are a bunch of tools, by the way. Installing Elk tools. Uh, so what is the name? Elasticsearch, right? And we also installed Kibana, and I also want Logstash. I think we didn't install the Logstash, but the documentation says that. So let me try that. DNF. Yeah, okay, it is there. I'm just checking the package name. So I also want Nginx. Okay, I want all these components, and I also want to start the service. Uh, Again, what all services do you want? Elasticsearch needs to be started, Kibana. So again, I don't want to write this multiple times. I just want to write a loop. Okay. Uh, just go with state as restarted. I just want to go through a loop. Okay. Uh, Loop example Ansible. Loop. Okay. So user, and if this has to be iterated multiple times, you can mention these entries here. I loop one, item two, and the entries here are referred as item. Okay. All right. Let's go through that approach. Item. All right. Loop. Elasticsearch. Then I just want Kibana to be started, and then Logstash. I just want all of them. Okay. Again, I can simply write it multiple times, but that's not a great way. Okay. Starting services. That's it. Okay. We also need
Manoj,
couple.
Kibana
Yeah.
spelling is wrong in installation.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Thank you. The installation Kibaba. Yeah. You saved my 5 minutes of time. Thank you very much. Kibana. Kibana. Okay. All right. In fact, all of our time. So tools automation, right? So push the code. Now we also need a pipeline, right? So go here. That's it. Copy the whole token. I'll just say lk.yaml. Just call it as elk, elk. That's it. Go CD pipelines, publish the code. Okay. Now what I would like to do is I just want to destroy this instance. I just want to run it one more time. Okay. Spot. What is the instance we just created? 30 minutes back. Let me can terminate that. Okay, I just want a fresh installation. Okay. Don't worry about the billing. Okay, when you're learning something, obviously you need to spend certain credits. Okay, that's worth of doing it. Okay, it is just like investing on yourself. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay, so what is the best thing that you can invest on is yourself. Okay, that's totally fine. So back in days in 13, 14, 15, 16, if I want to learn certain things, I don't have this much luxury of learning these things on the top of cloud. At the time, I used to pay 50,000, 70,000 for a top-notch computer's laptop and install VMware vSphere stack or VMware workstation and create multiple instances on my VM. That's a capital intensive task. It just costs you 3,000 rupees per month. That's all. Okay. But if you join any company, you get 1 lakh or 150,000 or 200,000 INR bonus. It's going to feel nothing to you. Okay. So let's aim for that. Okay. So LCM job is also in place for the agent. Why it's taking this much time? Oh, it's already completed. Fine. Okay, it has created one instance. Okay, perfect. One more elk stack got created. Sweet. Now let me try to SSH to that machine. Okay, but sudo uptime Uh, okay. Reboot hyphen last. So uptime, since it's going to show you the list of times the server went up and down. Okay. It's a brand new instance. Now I would like to run my Elk stack on the top of it. It is quite obvious to fail because it triggered when the instance itself is not there, and that's the reason it failed to connect. I don't surprise on it. This is expected, by the way. So let's try to rerun it. Now Elk stack should be coming up. Let's wait. Okay. So my rule of thumb is very simple. Anything you do for the first time, and if you're pulled into doing that for the second time manually, that's a sense of an opportunity to start with automation. Okay. Let's wait and see how it goes. Let's wait. Let's wait. Okay, fine. It's still in progress. Installing Elk stack. Okay. Configuring host name, configuring the repo, installing the Elk stack. When I say installing the Elk stack, it goes through these many services, right? Okay. Did I push the code, by the way? Okay, yeah, glad I pushed. Okay, perfect. It was completed. Starting this, but installing the Elk stack, why it has not shown up? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So perfect. Sudo systemctl status nginx. Perfect. Logstash again. It's gonna glad it came up. Logstash Kibana. Okay, perfect. And Elasticsearch. Perfect. Now I would like to access it from the external to see whether Kibana is working or not. Again, I have to go through the whole registration process. Perfect. but it didn't come up. Okay, because I know the reason. Okay, because when you hit 80, it should go back to 5601, right? That configuration is something I haven't pushed it at. So what I have to do is, where is my, where did I keep it? Mm, no. Tools automation. Where did I keep my proxy file? Tools automation. Yeah, this is the wrong spot to keep. So go inside the tools automation, inside the rules, inside the templates. Okay, nginx.conf. This is something I missed. Okay, copy the repo. Copying, configuring reverse proxy. Kibana. Just say nginx.conf, xe nginx, nginx.conf. That's all. Push the code and rerun it one more time. Let's give a shot. My goal is very simple. I just want to access it from the external network. Okay, let's do it. It should work. Okay, I'm quite confident on it. Let's wait. Okay, it's completed. Perfect. Now I'm gonna go and try to make a refresh. Perfect. Now I would like to make the registration. So this time I need to do these things manually. Okay. Again, this is the registration. Generating the one-time step is to make sure you don't do automation for it. Okay, because uh, getting the generation of the password, they don't want to keep it on logs. Okay, that's the idea behind it. So first here, I don't want to just generate, okay, the password, because if if it is through code, okay, you would have got it. But since it's through automation, you cannot get the logs. So you can reset the password. Okay. Generate an element token, reset the password, generate the token for Kibana. First, just generate the Kibana token. This is the registration token. Okay. So this is the registration token for Kibana. You're telling to Elasticsearch, hey, this Kibana is something that you should be aware and you should start exposing the data. Now, I need to enter it. Yes, sure. Kibana pen. Okay. Now your Kibana is registering on the top of Elastic, the entire stack. But again, the sign-in password, you don't have it. You need to reset it. Okay. If this node should join, you can. Okay. If you don't have the password, you can reset the password by using this. Okay, this is the you are asking Elastic to search a password to reset the password for the user Elastic, which is a root kind of user. Okay. Yes. Elastic. Okay, I just want to save it. And Elastic credentials, I just want to keep it on my computer. Elastic cred. Okay, done. Uh, okay, so far any questions, anyone? Okay, so integrations and all, I'll just go through my own approach. Any questions, team? Anyone? Any questions? Questions? Okay. Now, if you look at the architectural diagram, so we have installed the Kibana and we have installed and configured the Logstash and we also installed the Elasticsearch. Now, next on the top of this infrastructure, you need to define the file bit. Okay, we'll start with file bit from tomorrow. Okay, file bit is an agent software, by the way. All right. So tomorrow we'll start with file bit. This is for my reference. So that's it. That's for today. And yeah, so I'm just gonna turn off the server because I don't need this at this point of time. Ensure you turn off the servers. If not, it's gonna hit you hard with the bill. Okay, so make sure you stop them. That's it. And once you're done with the practice, go ahead and try to destroy it. Okay, this is what you need to do to make your job easy. All right. Any questions, anyone? Okay, if you think we are deeply integrated with Ansible, Terraform, Vault, obviously go CD. Okay. Any questions, Sumit, Srilata, Mridula, Mahendra, Sumit, Sridevi, Srideep, Shailaja, Harish, Arun, Ambit? Guys, keep in mind the same exercise we are going to do again one more time with a very big project. Okay. So at that time we'll go little quick because at the time we'll don't explain, okay, what is this, what is that and all. Okay. Technologically, we have already did this, all these things. So we'll take one more big project and we'll try to implement this stack. Okay. I don't see any questions. I think we should be good. Sumit, do you have any questions that you would like to ask me?
Hey, hi. Actually, I just want to know means what all things are pending for this particular session. Not for this session, actually, for the
So
whole
far, what we
session. What
covered?
all things are, no, what all things are pending actually.
A lot. It's gonna take 2 more
Okay,
months.
okay, 2 more months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, we thought of completing the training by 3 months, 1 week. I added
Mm-hmm.
GoCD, I added Vault, I also added GitHub Actions. And
Mm-hmm.
initially, I
Okay.
thought of doing just CI/CD on top of one big project. Later, I decided, keeping the current market standards in mind, I just added 4 more new tools. So
Okay,
GoCD,
that's great.
uh, Vault is configuring these things, and GitHub Actions is also not a part of this initially, and Neuralink is not a part of the curriculum. If you look at this, so these 4 new topics are something I added out of what I have not promised, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you not feeling interested? How are the sessions so far?
No, it's good. I am able to understand the things.
Perfect.
Actually,
Perfect.
my domain is networking. That's why.
Oh, you're waiting for networking. Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yes, yes.
But you need to be little patient. Okay, we are going through
Yeah, yeah,
multiple
definitely,
hops.
definitely. That's why
Okay.
I'm asking in
Yeah,
between.
yeah.
Where
Yeah,
are we
yeah,
right now?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Sure.
Because I have taken a path, because if you take an SOP, standard operating procedure, you need to stick to it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
correct, correct. That's true.
Even if it is little hard, and that's the reason with a single click of a button, I'm losing everything, and a single click of a button, I'm getting everything.
Exactly.
Okay. That is what expected even in your day-to-day job, by the way. Okay. That's where we are heading
Mhm.
towards. That's fine. Be focused till at the end of December. Okay.
Okay, definitely. Okay, sure. Thank you.
So we'll do the same exercise one more time on the top of a RoboShop project as well. It's a very big project. Okay. All right.
Sure. Thank you.
Anything else, team? All right. That's it. That's for today. We're gonna meet tomorrow. Thank you. Signing off.